Alright, so today what I thought I'd do is just make a quick video of the 10 video games that just come to mind the second you start thinking about the arcades. And so I put together a top 10 list, and this isn't necessarily my all-time favorites in a row. It's more like these are the games that just popped into my head and they were influential in my life. And I'll kind of explain a little bit about that, but I won't go into too much detail. So we're just going to start right away with number 10, and that is Gorgar Pinball. Now this was at the ice cream shop in Flagstaff, right next to where we lived. It was called Kitschy's, I believe. And you go in there, and there was a back room, had a bunch of video games, had some pinball machines, and Gorgar Pinball was amazing. It was big. It was about twice the size of a normal pinball table. The pinball was actually, again, about twice the size of a normal pinball, and it was just an amazing pinball table. We loved it. So we'd go in there and play it all the time, and that popped into my head right away. Number 9 is Space Invaders. Without a doubt, one of the most influential games that's ever been. It was at a local pizza place in Flagstaff, the Godfathers, and we went in there, got some amazing pizza, and then off in the corner they had a couple arcade games, and Space Invaders was in there, and I loved it. Just absolutely fell in love with it. It was an amazing game. It is a true all-time classic. The next one is Robotron. Now this one, I first played it in Oregon at a place called Puttin Video. And it was so unique because it had the twin sticks, and so it required just a little more thought. It was just so unique. I loved it. And I never got really good at it, but I loved playing it. It was an amazing title. Okay, number 7 is kind of a funny one. It's Hard Driving, and if you remember, it had the arcade unit where you sat in it, and it had the stick shift, had the whole gas, brake, and clutch, had everything. It was like a little driving simulator. And believe it or not, I actually learned to drive on that game. And, while I'm not the best driver, I'm a good driver. And so I kind of give credit to Hard Driving, because it was actually a really realistic simulator, and it was fun. At number 6, we have Dragon's Lair. Now that was the Laserdisc game. Now this was at Putt Putt, which was in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And I would oftentimes just walk there with $1 just to play a couple games. And it was, easily a mile and a half away. But I didn't care. I was like, I will walk it and go play a couple games, and I'll be happy. And Dragon's Lair was so unique. It was that Laserdisc game. You're playing a cartoon, and I really never got good at it. In fact, I really sucked at it, so I only played it one time, and then mostly I would just watch, and then I'd go the next time, play it one time, and watch. But it was great when it got released on the home systems, because then I could actually finish it, which was kind of cool. The next is Sinistar, and that was also at Putt Putt in Albuquerque, and I love this game. This game used to scare me when it would yell at you, "Run, coward. I live." It is awesome. That game used to put, terror into your soul when you're playing it, because you knew you were about to die if you didn't have enough of those smart bombs. And so, that one was that stuck out big time in my memory. I loved that game. The next is Gauntlet, and I believe the first time I played this was in Salinas. And that was in Aladdin's Castle in Salinas. And I loved it. It was such a cool game because you had the 4 joysticks. 4 players could join in. You choose your character and you get going and put in another token because your health is going down, and play and enjoy it, and then put in another token because your health is going low. and enjoy it, you see where I'm going. So that was the biggest money draw I've ever seen in the arcade. People would just stack up tokens or quarters and just keep playing and playing and playing. And it was a fantastic game. And again, that was one when it got the home releases, we were just like, yes. Number three is Mortal Kombat 2. Now, the reason I love this game so much is I was working at Aladdin's Castle, and it would just draw so many people. And what's amazing is, for a violent game, it actually had people communicating and talking and playing together. And it was actually a really cool game that way. And I played it a bunch. I did get pretty good at it. Not as good as some of the kids that would come in there. But I got decent at it, to where I could do the fatalities. I could play pretty well. I could hold my own against most people. But that one was... It was fun, because you'd walk into work, and of course there'd be a crowd around that machine, and it was just like, it was fun. It was just a fun game. Yeah, it was bloody and violent, but it was fun. Number 2 is Joust. Now, this was also one that I first played at Puddin Video in Oregon. And I loved the sounds of this. I loved just watching your birds walking. I loved the whole technique of flying and getting the higher ground and beating your opponent, and their egg would drop and you had to go grab it, and then the pterodactyl would come, and the pterodactyl would always kill me. Always kill me. And what's funny is, when it got the home release, we had it for the Atari 5200, and it was actually a really good port of it. And my mother was the only one that could kill the pterodactyl just consistently. She could do it no problem. She was amazing. The number one game that just comes to mind when I think of arcades is Donkey Kong. When we lived in Flagstaff, there was a place called Gold Rush, and it was an amazing arcade. Had tons of games in it. When you walked in, you were met by 2 Donkey Kong machines, and they were loud and obnoxious, but they were just so amazing. And I remember just falling in love with that game. The color, the gameplay, just everything about it, the sound, the music it played, it was absolutely amazing. And to this day, I still have to go and just play Donkey Kong every now and then, just to relive those memories. Because that was like the pinnacle of gaming at that point for me, and it blew me away. And then we heard they were making a version for the Atari 2600, and we got it, and it sucked. But that's okay, because we still played it and we still enjoyed it. But yeah, that was my number one game, was Donkey Kong in my memory of games. Now this list isn't my all-time favorites, but they're just ones that spark that nostalgic memory and nostalgic feeling in me, when I played them. And I love these games. So if you got a list of yours, let me know. It's always cool to think about it and to think back, and also realize you're getting old. And because when I played Donkey Kong, I was like 10 years old, and that was a long time ago. So yeah, I'm getting old. So see ya.